Hello and welcome back to Deauveau with me, BonBonB. I'm BonBonB. You're very welcome. Deauveau, the UK city build on the north coast of France. That's all the information you need. Today is all about detailing. We're going to get no further progress with the city itself, but there have been all sorts of things that have been bugging me that needed doing for a long time, like these open gardens that need a fence panel on the end just to close them up. A little bit of foliage here and there and so forth. In today's episode we will also be naming those roads that I asked for names last week. You guys came up with some great ones, so we'll be naming a few of those today. And also, if you hang around to the end of today's episode, I've got some more things that I need your help with naming, so do hang around for that, and maybe you'll get your name shouted out in next week's show. Now, it's been a really busy week for me this week. Prop cars going in open garages, lovely. Been a really busy week. All sorts of things going on in the background I can't tell you about just yet. Top secret. Yes, these things will come to light in the next few weeks maybe. It was hopefully going to come to light this week, but I've had to put things on the back burner a bit. Things just haven't quite worked out as I wanted them to. So yeah, things like new tutorials and things like that, everything is kind of like running a bit behind. A few burnt out cars here in the garages, a little bit of a rough area. I think the sort of things we need here. So yes, today's episode, there's a couple of hours worth of gameplay going on here, plus all the extra time that I need to edit it all together and narrate. So probably about 3 hours worth of work, and that's about all the spare time that I have had this week after making WhatMap. So you guys, I've managed to do a little bit of work. You won't see huge changes this week, but little feature areas like this, and somewhere I'm going to drop a few bits of litter and stuff like that around here. But yeah, you'll notice a few nice little feature areas, just bringing a little bit of a realism to the area. Like in here, in this garage here, garage is a little bit too high. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop the garage down just a smidge it, so that we can see the decal, the litter decal there, the litter within the garage. But also, as well as the litter in the garage, I want to stick a few of these washing machines. And there we are. Just people don't just use garages for cars, you know, they use garages for all sorts of storage. And I'm going to have to move the garage out of the way to be able to pop that in there, and then we'll put the garage back on top of it. And there we are, nice little feature area. I quite like that. It's my favourite thing in the city so far, I think. I'll align the height of some of these garages a little bit later on, possibly off camera. What else have we got going on down here? Shopping trolleys. I can't remember who suggested shopping trolleys, but I need to definitely stick a few down. We've got a Tesco's Express out here, so we're going to stick a few outside the Tesco's Express lined up, ready to be used. And you've got the car park around the back. This car park, I'm having all sorts of trouble with floating cars in it. Not too much I can do about it, I don't think. So yeah, we're going to stick a couple of shopping carts that are just rolled down the hill and near the rear entrance to Tesco. It makes some sense to have those there. But somebody did say shopping carts around the back of these parking areas, and I like this. The garage areas, I really like the idea of shopping carts there. And now I did have some foliage here, but it's all disappeared. This has happened before. This is to do with prop snapping, I know, but I don't know what exactly causes it within prop snapping. Anyway, we've managed to get them back on top of the road so I can see what we've got. Now we're going to do some foliage detailing. This is the area around the back of Welshman's garages. We'll stick a little a power. That's the Trafo station, I believe it's called. I can't remember who makes it. Don't have the list to hand. It's a busy week. Don't have a lot of notes with me today. So normally I try and tell you, oh, this is this plant and this is that plant. Well, I will be doing a one-click collection of everything at some point when I get a minute. I don't know when that's going to be, but it's going to be soon. Oh, the big thing that you're going to notice today, though, take a quick glance at these gardens and all the vanilla trees, the ugly vanilla trees in the gardens. A lot of this I changed off camera, but I will be upgrading the vanilla trees in today's show, and I'll have done most of it before I actually start showing you the actual footage, and you'll see me doing the last few using a mod called Prop It Up. Prop It Up being a mod where you can actually change, well, anything en masse within the game, whether it be the trees in the gardens, or whether they're actually props within the game. Change a certain sort of chimney, all those kind of things. Using Prop It Up, really easy to use, nice little mod. Never used it before today, but I knew it was going to be very straightforward, and straightforward it was. And I still made a bit of an arse of it at first, which is why I'm quite glad I wasn't actually recording at the time. Back we're doing one of these back alleys at the moment, to put a bit of foliage down the back alleys just to bring a bit of life to there. This guy here, he's supposed to be connected to a road, and in the end, especially this one here, I didn't like that one there. It was a little bit too stark, so he's gone into that back passage. He's disappeared, and that one it's a very bright little unit, and I didn't feel that it works too well. Now the memorial garden. Remember last week, this was Luca's idea to do a garden in honour of the Great Fire of Deauveau that we had a few weeks ago when we first set this thing up, and before I switched off the fires on the trees. No more fires in the trees, thank you. A little memorial garden. I had an idea for this one, and you're going to see the idea take shape fairly quickly before your eyes. I told you it wasn't going to be the most magnificent. It was going to be something very simple, but I had a feature asset I was going to drop in. You'll spot this feature asset as soon as I plop it in there. Didn't like it in the end. So by the end of today's show, that feature asset will be taken out. Here's me thinking, maybe I can do some of the, but the decals, they don't curve too well, so I've gone back to where we were. That looks okay. So yes, grab all those, shunt them about a little bit. Then down here we've got, these are from Jez, these little tree grates. I think they literally are called tree grates, I think. And then Paris in brackets by Jez, a very lovely asset, and it has been in the Steam Weekly chart at some point, so you can find it that way. Now these are the bare trees. I chose these because it was a great fire. It was the great fire, so I thought dead trees in the tree grates, I think that would be rather marvellous. And then here, now this is, I wanted to do a little bit, this is my feature item. Can't remember what this was called, but don't worry, we won't be sticking with it. I will probably use it at some point somewhere else in the city, but after I worked this into this memorial garden, I just decided it didn't look right. It just did not work at all in the way that I was hoping that it would. So we'll find somewhere else for it in the city, a more modern, a busier, less suburban kind of part of the city. This little idea I liked, which was like this. This is just I think it's just called block. I think it's like a pillar support or something like that. But liked it. It was just like plain and mundane enough to work with some benches around each side, and then a little bit of foliage in the grounds. Not too much, just a little bit here and a little bit there, just to add a little bit of life. Overgrown life into the area. So here's me shunting things about, thinking I will get this to work. I'm determined to get this to work. Sometimes things just won't work. Okay, so at the end of this I look at it and go, yeah, it's okay, yeah, and then I slept on it and I looked at it the following day and it wasn't okay. It really was not okay. It just doesn't look right at all. Looks a bit silly. Stick down a few wheelie bins. I was going to put down a lot more, but I'm thinking prop count. I'm planning ahead on prop count. I don't want to go too crazy on these things. So just a few dotted down there. Now, a few weeks ago, you will remember, hopefully, that I was complaining that all my vegetation around my wetlands that was hand placed when I built the map just disappeared. All of it. Every last bit of it. So I'm now replacing all the vegetation, not with much care, but just enough to make it work again. And so yes, that's the this is now, guess, like 800 speed you're looking at now. I didn't think you'd want to watch me slowly doing all of this again, especially if you watch the making of St Catherine's Point, which is the map we are using. St Catherine's Point. I'd love for you to subscribe and use this for your next city builds, and see if you can do something completely different from what I'm doing. Love to see your screenshots if you are building on this map, and see what you come up with as opposed to what I've come up with. Because obviously when I built the map, I kind of had, I didn't plan this exact layout of a house, but I had a rough idea of where things were going to be and how they were going to come together vaguely. And now's the chance for me to make it all work. So, but anyway, yes, popping all this vegetation down around all the wetlands, and just bringing the area back to life, because it was, especially when you pull back on the camera, the whole area just looks really odd with the missing vegetation. So yes, just getting it filled in again. We had quite a lot of wetlands. You got the two rivers, you got a few little lakes around the outside. This one, it's like a wishbone lake. It comes up to a point here and then goes back down the other side. Lovely, like that. I should call it the Wishbone Lake. Never thought of that. And then, just like a bit of detailing on the water. This did take me a good chunk of time. It looks like it was done in 5 minutes. Believe me, it was a lot more than 5 minutes. Didn't get any work done on the city on that evening at all. I think this was about 1 in the morning I was doing this. And this is the lake off in the fog. I tried switching off the fog, didn't make any difference. I don't know what is going on with the fog here. So we are working in the fog. I think this was to do with the cube map that I was using at the time. And that's the thing with the cube maps. Haven't quite got them sorted yet, but I do hope so at some point. Some more of the vegetation, the thinner sort of vegetation this time, just to add a little bit of a lighter coverage around the areas as well. So yes, Deauveau, I mean the population now in Deauveau is up and around 4,000. We have got really high commercial demand, even though we have put down some shops. Clearly that little shopping parade isn't going to cut it. Next week, we've still got quite a lot of this week's show to go. Next week I'm going to extend that road where we've got those shops up and onto the roundabout, to connect it onto the roundabout, and put in the bus depot. That's what's going to be going on up there. Bus depot, maybe a few more shops, maybe a few light industrial units, or possibly even just warehouses in that kind of area. So and also I'm going to extend the affordable housing estate that we built last week. I'm going to extend that a little bit. It's going to be about another 50% larger than it is at the moment. Not huge, not too big, just fading out into the more commercial, light industrial kind of area that I want to work into. This looks much better now with the foliage, doesn't it? Looks much better. So that's what's going to be going on next week. I'm going to do that. Also, hopefully going to fill out a few more of the houses on the opposite side of Broadway Pass from where we've been working, going up towards the hills. I can't wait to actually get Emberton finished. Once we get Emberton finished, we can start looking at some of the other areas. We're expanding out. We are definitely expanding out at the moment. But it'd be so nice to have one area finished and like draw in the district, give it the name, and boom, little tick box in the to-do list saying that is done now. That is done now. Right, so what was now? Now this was using Prop It Up now to change the trees. I've done most of them. You can see this is vanilla trees on this particular corner property. All the houses around it have got linden trees. I'm mostly using the linden trees by Mr. Maison. Got a few of the LPS, the low poly trees that I use across the map. So basically it's the local genetic tree. generic tree. I found some more vanilla trees. I was looking around, but well, you'll see me looking around for vanilla trees and buildings. So this is the medical centre, Emberton Medical Centre. Looking around for more, and there are a few dotted around, and at which point I go in and choose which ones I'm going to switch. The main tree will always be switched over to a linden tree, and then the bushes and stuff like that maybe I'll leave on their own as a vanilla, or change them to something else, just depending on how I felt. But you change the trees on this particular property, any other identical property to that will have the trees changed as well. So you haven't got to do every single house, you've just got to do each style of house once. So yeah, it's looking around. There are a few that I've missed. I know I missed the cricket ground. I will do that next week. I forgot. I forgot the cricket ground. So anyways, right, that's good. Back to the park, Memorial Park. Let's get rid of this. Didn't like it. Didn't like it. It's got to be blander and more, well, suburban and boring and grey. So I liked this little thing, so I'm going to do two of them, and that is going to be the Memorial Park. It's literally some dead trees some dead trees and a couple of very concretey like seating arrangements, and that is it. The Deauveau Memorial Park. Thank you very much, Luca, for the idea. It was very, very good idea, and yeah, like it a lot. I wasn't sure what I was going to do with that bit of ground, and you've really helped out there. So right, what more was I going to do today? Naming things. Right, now this is where we are going into. Now White Walker Night King suggested Walker Gardens. So this is the long main road, like the long windy road, sorry, with like the loop on the end. Unfortunately, Walker Gardens officially links over into the small road. This was the middle-sized road. Now, a couple of you suggested it. Helen Adams and Tucson Coyote suggested Lionheart Lane. I really like the idea of Lionheart Lane meeting up with St Catherine's Drive. So you've got St Catherine meeting Richard Lionheart. I think that worked really, really well. Now the problem is this is Walker Gardens here. Can't really do anything. It's part of the same road. It's a bit of a silly loop road. But I did. Who was it? I've got it written down here. It was Noel Simmons. Read my own handwriting. It was Noel Stunning. Neil Stunning? I don't know. Can't read my own handwriting. Oh, Strunning is Noel Strunning rings a bell. If this is you, I'm sorry I'm getting your name completely killed and massacred here, but you suggested Rick Road. It's a short road. We were dealing with Rick 4000's prop buildings, and so Rick Road, short name. Liked it a lot. So as I can't rename the road, I'm just naming all the houses and numbering the houses as well. So you've got 1 and 3, 5 and 7, 9 and 11, all in the Rick Roads. Yeah. That's what I'm doing right now. So yeah, Rick Road, like it. Noel Strunning, definitely is your name. Definitely is your name. I hope. Anyway, right, so there you are. That's the 3 from last week. Got a couple of things this week we're going to want naming as well. Let's have a quick scoot down here. Everything down here is named already. This is good. We've got a few off bits down here that need to be named. This particular road here, now this is the one that links Broadway past the main through road. It comes all the way down past the end of Colwyn Avenue and Charlotte Road to the church and the school on the left, and then all the way down here to this turn off here by the medical centre. That road needs naming, please. And I'd like to name this estate, the entire block. If you can come up with a name for that as well, that would be great. I'm thinking something along the lines of, you know, the Grobbins or something like that. I've just made that up off the top of my head, but yes, just something like that. And I decided to name the flats here O'Toole Court. And one of you out there will know why it's called O'Toole Court. I won't say any more, but if you're watching, that's why I've called that. And yeah, I'm just going to name the little inroad there. I just call it the same, O'Toole Court. There you go, access road for O'Toole Court. Put your teeth back in, BonBon. Well, I think we're about there. I think we are. It's coming along. But yeah, we're going to do some building next week. Going to do some building, start filling things out a little bit more. So I guess we should do some cinematics now and say thank you very much for watching, for commenting, for liking and for subscribing, and to everybody with me live on the premiere, thank you so much. I really do enjoy our little chat in the chat box every single week. You guys are the best of the best. The rest of you are just the best, but they are the best of the best. Right, anyway, that's it. I am going to tootle now. We'll see you tomorrow for What's Map. We have got one from a well-known creator tomorrow, one that if you're a regular to What's Map, you will already know the name. And then more Deauveau next week. Don't miss it. Thanks for watching. I've been BonBonB, and you've been very, very welcome.